Anything you want us to cover, you're going to let us know when we're live. Oh, it's now live.
We're now live.
Sounds good.
Apparently, we're talking about keto today.
Yeah, we're just going to come on here and wing it. No, just kidding. We are live here and on the Ripple Effect. I know it's nice to have a little banter early on. I would want to give a big welcome to guest host Dale Marie Golden, who's joining us on the Ripple Effect as a co-host. Dale, great to have you. How are you today?
Great to be here. I'm working hard in my community bank trying to get the PPP round 2 money in the right hands to keep those small businesses and nonprofits and my restaurants thriving. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, great to hear. It's much needed and good to see swift action on the PPP, and folks like you can implement it on the front line, so to speak, with Bridge Bank and all that you do. And, you know, I did have just a little anecdote before we get started. I want to welcome the guys from TNT Fitness today, and we're so excited to have you. I just was thinking about this segment and having Dale Marie, and what I really see with Bridge Bank and, you know, our B&I commonality is kind of the importance of core values, how, you know, core values really matter in business. And that's something that really Dale Marie exemplifies, and, you know, a caring attitude for small business, a caring attitude for your clients, and fitness in the case of TNT. That's what I try to do in my business. So I'm really excited to have everybody exhibit, you know, those core values that are so critical to our business success. And with that, I wanted to first give a little introduction, testimonial for TNT, and also have Dale Marie introduce herself a little bit more at some point. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Dale Marie if you don't know her. They actually work closely together too. So we have a lot to cover today. But the guys from TNT Fitness actually train both Dale Marie and I. And, you know, we were saying we're kind of the strongest that we've ever been, and, you know, boom, baby. So we're excited. And Dale Marie, do you mind just giving a testimonial or a brief, you know, insight on what it's like working with TNT and the kind of results you've gotten?
Well, you know, it's been great because I will wake up on a morning of a TNT workout and go, oh no, I am too tired. There is no way. And then it's only a half an hour. You can do anything for only a half an hour, and you work out, and afterwards I feel ready to face the day. So I think everybody kind of feels that way. No, I shouldn't say that, but a lot of people feel that working out is maybe troublesome. But once you do it, it definitely, those endorphins go. And as you progress and feel stronger and stronger, it's a benefit. And I'll give you a strong testimonial that happened because a couple years ago, there was the thing that's in a parking lot that stops the car, and I tripped over one of those and got a bloody nose and was sore, couldn't move. It happened again a week ago. I tripped over one of those same things, but this time I engaged my core. True story, can't make this up. And I was able to right myself and not fall.
Yeah.
That is gigantic. That is gigantic. And it happened like that. And it's a testimonial that I don't want to give because I don't want to be falling. But it's so important. And I think it's something that you think about being strong. But you brought it up, David. We're talking about core values. We're talking about core in your body as well. So Mama Dale's tying it all together here. So beautiful. Thank you, Liam and Jesse.
That's what we're here for.
Thank you for the beautiful testimonial. That's what we do it for. That's why we wake up in the morning, to hear stories like that. That makes us happy.
Yeah, it's a good thing for people to recognize that it's a common concern for people as they age that they're losing their balance, and they don't, and 99% of the time people have no idea that what they're really losing is strength. So you, as you're stronger, it gives you the ability to right yourself in those emergency situations, to fight against that tipping point and, you know, gravity. That's what happens. It's all about strength. It's literally not, balance is not what's going on. It's a losing strength. And when you lose strength, you can't stop that fall that's coming, and you just go down. So yeah, so here, that's a perfect example of how it's beneficial in day-to-day life.
And I actually have a little anecdote very similar to that, Dale Marie, and I think you really notice it in small, seemingly small experiences like that, where I have a 5-year-old and I actually used to be able to only carry her on my shoulders for a couple blocks now, but with that core strength, which they really train, I can now carry her probably like almost, I don't want to say a mile, but maybe like a half a mile or something. You know? So even I went up this big hill here in Orinda, which I would have never thought of doing that before. So it's really incredible the strength
Awesome.
that these guys can build for you and how that carries over to other parts of your life too. So I thought kind of a nice touch would be to just share this quick video we put together just to give folks some visuals of how it's like working with them. And then I'm gonna actually turn it over to Dale Marie for the first part of the interview to dive into their story and some of the things that they do without giving away any trade secrets. So just give me just a minute for this interview, and then we will get to, I'm going to have Dale Marie kick us off in terms of the story of TNT Fitness. So here I have their website here, which is a great thing to visit. You can see their beautiful trademark here, and you can get signed up here. It's just truthnottrends.com. We're going to put the links in the chat and pull that up. So, but
TNT is an online personal training platform where we help you get in great shape in 1 hour per week. We provide live virtual personal training sessions custom tailored for your specific needs and abilities.
With over 35 years of combined experience, we guarantee your safety and results. There's no need to worry about COVID.
Look at the hair on that guy.
Safety of your own home using whatever equipment you have available.
We use an evidence-based approach to make sure that each exercise you do is biomechanically sound and challenges your body to improve. No heavy weights necessary. In fact, many of our clients get great results using nothing but their own body weight.
So, go to truthnottrends.com today and book your free consultation with TNT. There are 168 hours in a week, and all it takes is one to get outstanding results. What are you waiting for?
okay, good. Well, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dale Marie to take over the first part of the interview, if you don't mind, Dale Marie.
Oh, I would love it. You gave me such advance notice about this this gig, so I think it's been all of an hour or so. But
There you go.
what?
Johnny on the spot over here.
You know what? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. So here I am. So it's really good to see both Jesse and Liam on the call today with TNT. And maybe you could, one of you, tell us a little bit about your story and how you came up with TNT and what's the meaning of the name? I mean, that's a story right there, right? You want to start, Jesse?
Yeah.
Like I said, you want to
Sure.
start, Liam?
Well, so first of all, how we linked up. So about 6 years ago, I don't even know if you know this, Mama Dale, but I lost my mom, and that for me kind of sparked this turning point where I thought, I was working in restaurants. I wanted to do a little bit more to help people and help people specifically with their health, and strength training had always been a passion. So I got certified as a trainer. That was 4 years ago, and I happened to meet Liam at the box gym that we were working at, and so began the master and apprentice journey that has blossomed into a beautiful business relationship. And I'll let Liam take it from there about the name and all that.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing, Jesse.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I've been in the fitness business. This year is 33 years. Probably back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, I had another company I was creating, and the company, the tagline for that company was Truth Not Trends. Part of my mission was always to provide sort of valid, reliable information that was non-contradictory, which is not easy to do. And in the fitness business, there's just tons of misinformation and constant contradictions of concepts. And, you know, even in a magazine, or you'll read from one page to another, they're literally saying opposite things. So I was striving to always, you know, keep my stuff very congruent and consistent. That company went under at some point, and years later, as Jesse mentioned, we connected. In the background, I'd been rebranding in my mind under the idea of just using Truth Not Trends as the name directly. And when Jesse and I first met and started to become co-workers and then working closely together, and it was really Jesse's. Jesse was the, you know, really the mastermind behind the podcast. You know, we would have these interesting conversations on our breaks and talking about all kinds of things. And he was like, you know, this is interesting stuff. We should record this stuff, you know. And we literally started by just laying an iPhone on the table and having a conversation and just hit record. And we quickly, you know, blossomed out into making a podcast and launching them at a regular basis and creating a huge network, you know, tapping into my existing network and expanding that beyond. We're up to like over 80 episodes at this point.
Wow.
And we put them out usually. And in the beginning, we were doing them every week, which was crazy. And now we do them every other week. And we also have a blog, a website, of course. It's just gone on and on and on. So we're creating an amazing partnership, working with people online now, and hoping in the not too distant future to go back into the real world and train with people live and in person. And we're working on being TNT Strength. That's the name we're working on.
We're in the middle of a rebrand. TNT Strength.
Yeah, so we're going straight for strength, which is really what we're all about. And so we're not TNT Fitness necessarily, but TNT Strength specifically is who we are.
Well, that's,
Boom,
I
baby.
mean, that's great, because it leads into my next question. And Jesse, I'll put this to you. So what is the unique philosophy that makes you so different when it comes to being strong and being fit?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple of obvious answers there that, you know, we believe in, you know, time efficient exercise, like you were talking about, Dale. So, you know, for example, you know, we interviewed a guy on our podcast. The episode we released yesterday, who, you know, he takes his clients through exercises that last 5 to 10 seconds, right? And there is a quantitative, demonstrable value to that exercise. It's backed by tons of research. And so we're not necessarily that efficient, right? We're getting, but 30 minutes per workout is still much more efficient than most people's workouts, right? You know, if you're committed to the gym life, you know, you might be willing to put in an hour and a half to 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. So, I mean, to us, you know, our pitch is, you know, we help you maximize your strength in just an hour a week, right? So it's very efficient, and I like to think that we have fun with it too. So that's another differentiator for us. Another thing is, like you saw in the video, you know, we train people using any equipment or no equipment available. So, you know, the barriers to entry of I don't have enough time and I don't have the right equipment, right? We cancel those out, because when you know, if you have the privilege to learn from somebody like Liam, when you have the knowledge and expertise to be able to understand leverage, to be able to understand strength curves, then you really can understand any tool and be able to help your clients apply them properly.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And that kind of leads in, and you touched on it a little bit. And Liam, you can maybe help us. What are some of the misconceptions that people have about getting fit?
Probably
long do
one
you
of the
have?
big, yeah. Probably one of the biggest ones is that people are still, even now, have been programmed since the 60s and 70s, really the 70s, when the whole jogging boom and aerobics kicked in. As a culture, we've been programmed to think that aerobic exercise is the most important exercise that we can do. And it never was the most important, and it isn't. And it's not the most useful way to use your time. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but what we find is that strength training, again, is the one exercise that delivers the maximum benefit in the minimal amount of time. As Jesse just touched upon momentarily, there's guys out there that are literally having people train where the combined effort for a workout is maybe 30 seconds of effort for a whole workout. We're talking about working out your entire body. Now that's, again, listen to our podcast to find out more about that specifically. But imagine aerobic activity. People think they need to do it frequently. They think they need to log a certain amount of time or distance or, hours and miles. And again, it's massively inefficient. It doesn't have as many benefits for the time that you spend. And in a fraction of the time, we can get much more bang for our buck by doing well implemented strength training.
Liam,
And
I'm just sorry, but it sounds like I have to throw out my leg warmers that I had from Jane Fonda. Darn.
I spend a lot of time in leg warmers myself, but that's a different conversation.
You can wear those for your strength training sessions. They're fashionable.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Set a trend. Go back to flash dance.
There we go. They're kind of tie-dyed too. I think you'll like them. I'll
There you
be
go.
training with you tomorrow morning, Liam.
They must have purple in them.
Of course, absolutely. David, I want to do a time check and be mindful of everybody's time. Want me to turn it over to you now? You want to take over?
Yeah. I'll, we're good on time. We got started a bit late, so we're going to go about another 5, maybe close to 10 minutes, and then we can wrap up if everybody's okay on time. And I did want to just say a few words about Dale Marie in case folks don't know her. She's actually the vice president of Bridge Bank, and she's really the premier small business banker in Oakland, and along, backed up by Bridge Bank, which is really a, small business centric bank, is in terms of helping small businesses. So really everybody who's anybody in Oakland banks with Dale Marie for a lot of reasons. One being her top customer service and, bright personality. I call her the gold standard for banking in Oakland. And just want to give you that. And we're excited to have you, Dale Marie. And, we did just wanted to ask about I wanted to kind of have a little bit of discussion, so feel free to jump in anywhere, Dale Marie, about our thoughts on this too, about maybe common misconceptions about getting fit that you had. I know we've talked a lot about the strength training, but you guys also know a lot about diet and strength, so a lot goes on the diet end. I mean, I would just say from my own experience that the strength, if you can get that amount of strength training in such a smaller amount of time than before, that frees you up to do cardio or other things that are healthier. So could you just talk a little bit about your knowledge of nutrition and kind of the role of nutrition and kind of the program that you offer?
Yeah, well, so first off, I'll say that Liam's knowledge on nutrition is so vast, it is unbelievable. And I think starting with the misconception that working out is a good way to lose weight. That's a good place to start, right? That is like, and Liam kind of touched on this with, the idea that aerobic exercise is what we should be doing all the time, right? And he said, there's no problem with it, right? We like aerobic exercise, but if your weight loss strategy is to just do endless amounts of cardio, it's not going to work out well, because there's a period of diminishing returns. Eat less, move more only works for so long until you hit the wall, and then you put back on everything and more. And research has borne that out. So if you are trying to lose weight, basically, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is you've got to take a close look at your diet, right? There's no way around it, unless you only want to lose weight for a month and then put it back on, right? But if we're talking about, right, who wants that, right? If we're talking about sustainable, right, manageable weight loss that you keep off forever or for long periods of time, you've got to take a close look at your diet and find something that works for you personally. And that's what we specialize in, is working with each individual person you know, because we work with people who are following a plant-based diet or a, you know, ketogenic diet or it's everywhere in between. So you really want to be able to address each paradigm, you know, to make a successful program for each person.
I
Yeah,
say, I
that's
think
awesome.
that's so important. I have so many friends that do that yo-yo effect back and forth between losing weight and feeling great, and then suddenly they're gaining weight again. And I think also something that we haven't really even addressed, but the fact that we're all home and in this pandemic, a lot of people are moving less. So that's another key factor that we haven't even brought up, that definitely doing training with the two of you is a lot simpler being in home and getting that necessary movement. And also, people are closer to their own refrigerators.
Mhm.
So, with this too, with your nutritional tips, I think it's paramount for people to stay healthy, because I remember when this started, everybody was like, maybe a month. We've been in this a year and it
Right.
looks like it's going to continue. So, your message, Jesse and Liam, is just so important for our health. So, thank you.
Yeah, as Jesse had mentioned, you know, number one, we focus always on the person in front of us. It's very specific, right? The needs, goals, preferences, everything about the individual. But the other thing is that, you know, we also want people to be the best versions of themselves, right? That's one of our missions. And part of health is nutrition, and part of eating healthy is recognizing that there are better choices that people need to make. So, you know, we don't focus initially on the classic model, as Jesse mentioned, sort of the eat less, move more, calories in, calories out. Um, we don't start there. We start with, you know, learning how to make the best choices within the plan that you feel comfortable with, and then modeling it from there. You know, and there's all kinds of little strategies that we can use. But there are foods that are better for humans and foods that are less so, and there's literally no doubt about it. And you know, nutrition is a challenging thing for everyone for many reasons. So we want to help people find the strategies that work best for them.
I would I would just my own experience in working with you, I really you guys set the table with a lot of different options and things. For example, in the podcast, if you check out their podcast, they have things on, you know, intermittent fasting, the keto diet, or is it keto? Somebody was correcting me the other day.
Either one.
What's that?
But either one, but you know, we Liam and I were talking about this, you know, there are ketones, right? So that's kind of, or ketosis, right? So
Yeah.
if you want to split hairs, maybe say keto.
Okay.
Yeah.
I say keto though.
But I think really the foundation of your teachings is strength. And I really realized that when you build in the strength into your workout, then that frees you up to do a lot of other things now, and also how you work, and that you save so much time by doing the virtual training at home and doing the workouts that are better in half the amount of time than I was doing before. So that, you know, it's amazing what that opens up for your work and your family life, especially for working, you know, single dads like myself, to have that in your own home, a better workout than I was getting when I was going to the gym, and like a third of the time is pretty impressive. And then you can
Thanks, DK.
yeah. So, and I don't know if you have any other comments, Del Marie, on like their system for work, and we don't want to give away any trade secrets, but it's impressive how, you know, I went on vacation for like the month of December, and he was training me with just things around the house, like a sheet, and you know, it was just a better workout than I got at the gym, you know. So
Yeah, there's no trade secrets really, but you know,
We
sticking
put
with
them
that.
all out on the podcast already.
That's right. Sticking with the nutritional concept, you know, like I know ketogenic stuff was one of the things you wanted to discuss. And you know, it's like everything else, and this is part of why, you know, Truth Not Trends exists, is that, you know, things come in and out of fashion, they become buzzwords, right? They become hip and somehow creep their way into the consciousness. For me personally, I've been writing about and experimenting with you know, carb manipulation and ketogenic diets and stuff probably for at least 25 years. And the truth is that if you trace the history of this stuff, it goes back at least 100 years, you know, And, elements of these things have probably been known as long as humans have been around without maybe writing it down or, having codified systems. But ketogenic diets have had medical intervention reasons for at least, like I said, 100 years. They've come in and out of favor for various reasons, but Dale and I are a little older than you guys, and I'm sure Dale can remember quickly when I make this comment. If you would go to any restaurant, 30 years ago, almost every restaurant had what they called on the menu, like they would have like the diet plate, and the diet plate was always some kind of beef, usually hamburger patties, some cottage cheese,
That's what I was going to say.
and some kind of vegetable, like maybe a sliced tomato. So 30, 40, 50 years ago, and I'm talking that every restaurant had this. And
That's true.
diet plate, yeah, and it was always protein. There was no carbohydrates essentially on the plate. And so they've known this for years, that reducing carbohydrates, manipulating carbohydrates is a super effective way. Bodybuilders used to do it years ago. It was a common known thing. Somehow, again, back in the 70s, 80s, it fell out of favor. Fat became vilified. Low fat foods, and we can trace all that stuff to the ultimate obesity of America and the world, losing connection with that concept. So there's nothing new about it. Ketogenic diets specifically were designed with a real specific goal, which is to be in ketosis, but you don't necessarily need to be in ketosis to benefit from better choices with the carbohydrate sources and that sort of thing. There's reasons why they were designed for epilepsy, for seizures and things, and they have really amazing chemical, benefits to the brain function and so forth. But again, for the average person to benefit from carb manipulation, ketosis is not necessarily required. And again, it's sort of a buzzword now. Anybody thinks that I eat a little less carbs, I must be doing a ketogenic diet. To be a real ketogenic diet, your body needs to be in ketosis, and that's an actual process that can be measured. And so that's a whole nother story.
And just to bring, just to bring things back to kind of present day, one of the reasons, we are doing a rebrand, right, and focusing on strength specifically, right, is that diet is really tricky for almost everyone. Almost everyone has, and I might even just say 100% of people have struggled with their diet at some point because it's such a complex thing, right? There are psychological factors, there are cultural factors, there are social factors, and those don't even account for the actual physiological, biological factors of the actual food you're eating, right? So there's an education side of things to learn about. Maybe some of the things I thought were healthy aren't as healthy as I thought they were, right? Or maybe some things I thought were unhealthy are actually better for me than I thought they were. So there's an education, a re-education that has to happen as well. And that can take time. But one of the things that Liam and I really dial in on is that when you start a strength training program, whether you're restarting it and you were doing it before, or you're doing it for the first time, you will feel stronger almost immediately. Almost immediately. I'm talking 1 or 2 sessions. On our website, we're advertising, feel a huge increase in energy in 2 weeks, right? And it's not an exaggeration because strength is empowering. So that's, I think, kind of to come back to some of the stuff that we've been talking about, get started on the strength, because just like Dave said, right, it's gonna amplify almost every facet of your life. And then as you go on your journey, you can fix the food side of things because it'll take a little time.
Yeah, and often these things cascade, right? It's not uncommon when we find that we make these choices and we it's not as big of a hurdle as we thought. Now that we know we can get away with an hour a week or less and still have notice benefits right away. And one thing, it's like that domino effect, right? So you start strength training, you start feeling better, and then you start thinking about this other stuff. You start making better food choices. It all kind of rolls together. I know even for me, I'm very much all or nothing kind of person. So like I tend to, when I'm doing great on one, then the other one kind of comes along with it, and that's often the case.
Great. I'm going to give Dale Marie a chance to make a closing statement. I have a little prompt, so to speak. it's called the ripple effect here if you're just joining us, and that's because of small changes can have a big impact. And Dale Marie definitely exemplifies that, not only in her business but in her service, and Jesse and Liam in their business, and this really strength focused training regimen. I felt stronger just talking to you guys after your initial introduction, so to speak, because you empower people, and to really start with, the 2 sessions a week. It's incredible what 1 hour a week training with folks who really know what to do with that hour can do for you in your life, and, a lot of aspects of your life. And Dale Marie, I just wanted to, if you have any comments on the ripple effect or closing statements on some of these small changes that can have a big impact for you and what you see in maybe this time, but also with TNT as well.
Well, I think it's perfect to combine what we were talking about, the core of your values and the core of your body, empowering you about your health, empowering you about your money. A lot of people don't think about the importance of a banker in their life, but they can be an advocate for you. They can walk you through what's going on in the banking system. You might have set up an account 15 years ago. Lots changed since then. Might be good to have a banker look at it and see if you're in the right thing. If you're in the right products. There are lots of new products, just like things shift all the time. But I think rather it's empowerment about your money, it's empowerment about your health. What the mind can conceive, you can achieve.
Thank you so much, Dale Marie. And if you want a financial ripple effect, talk to Dale Marie about your banking needs and small business PPP loans, and just overall great insight on life, and how to be a successful business in Oakland. And it really does start with the finance and your health. And I loved how we tied all those themes together today, and it was so great to have Dale Marie and the guys from TNT Fitness on today. So thanks,
Can
everyone.
I take a picture, because we all kind of match, even though it's purple and blue?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Sure, I'll go to the gallery view
I
here.
just want to say thank you to you, Dave, and Dale Marie as well, because one of the things that makes our job so incredible is that we get to work with other incredible people like yourselves, and the empowerment goes both ways, right? So when we get to hear your testimonials, that makes us more excited about doing our jobs, and
It makes us look forward to it. So it's
right.
nice
So
to be looking forward to going to work.
Excellent. Well, we'll see everyone soon. Thanks for joining us, and have a good rest of your day from the Ripple Effect.
There we go.